Hi guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Hype as well. And if you get anything from my work, a connect done epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description of this channel. alisonkatz211.com is my website. You can see all the beautiful pyramids and drawings and paintings and all the stuff that I have. And if you're interested in any of it, please email me. Some stuff has been commissioned, so obviously it went to somebody that asked for it. Other things I have up for grabs, and then some are personal. They don't come out of my collection until I'm transcended. Maybe. We'll see. Um, so go email me there if you're interested. I have channel memberships, 3D and 4D. You guys get special emojis. I go live Tuesday and Friday, and you get to use them there, and it's very exciting. I have oracle readings that I do for every weekend, and you guys get over an hour plus oracle reading for the collective of the members. There, you get to get enhanced understanding of like where you are, how do you need to heal, what do you need to focus on, what do you need to release, things that are upcoming, but you always have to go within to resonate with it. I have raffles every once in a while, and when I'm able to do them, you guys get to win some really good stuff. 3D gets one free entry, 4D gets two entries, and 4D gets to work with me with the content that I am creating. Behind the scenes, that's the quantum and spiritual merger. We're going to do a quantum AI and metaphysical ponderings video today. But I have some very upsetting news that I would like to drop here first because it happened just a few hours, not even like 2 hours ago. I came home from work to see little Thor on the windowsill. Like I have a little piece of outdoor furniture that he hides on and just sits and watches and looks inside. And I didn't see anything wrong because I just saw it was a little shadow and went to go grab some tuna and food and went to, bring it out to him. And I started recording and I didn't notice anything because his head was down. But then I it was like, okay, did he get into a scuff? Does he have something going on? And then I finally looked at the eye, and I'm going to post the video tomorrow. I literally cut the video and ran to get some medicines, holistic, and put it in his food. Whatever he was still eating. I got a drop of colloidal silver onto his little wound. It's not little. And tried coaxing him to come in the house. I put Freya away and I left the door open, and he would not want to. He usually does come in eventually to eat. Didn't want to come in. I don't know what that's about, but did not want to come in. Uh, and then I closed the door. He left, kind of. So, like, backtracking, like, after him not wanting to come into the house, I left the door open and went downstairs. I came back up my deck because that usually will get him to come in, and he did it about face and like jetted down the stairs and like jumped through my deck and like went out into the middle, and then I called him back after I retreated, and he like went underneath my deck, my first floor deck. Then Mr. I think he has some kind of, I don't think he's rabid. I just think there's something going on. I have a raccoon I don't know if the fight happened between Little Thor and this raccoon, or Little Thor was trying to mate and it didn't end well. It's that season. Little Thor does go missing in between February and March. Doesn't come often, and he comes just to eat, and then he's gone. I have a raccoon that doesn't show signs of rabies, but it might be distemperament. I don't know. I mean, he's not he this thing really like is food aggressive. And he came on my deck and he tried to eat little Thor's food, and I retreated everything before he could get back into my house. So I have not been outside. I'm afraid to open up doors. I don't know where the raccoon is at the moment, so I'm gonna check after this video and see what I can find. Um, I'm going to see, and this is the problem of setting up traps. I don't want to catch that raccoon because then I'm never going to be able to release it without getting hurt or something happening to me. This thing is a little bit of aggressive. So I don't know what to do. A friend of mine saw my post earlier about Little Thor. I'm going to show you a picture of him in a sec. She said that I should go and get sedative. So when I am feeding him, I can give him the sedative, and if I could keep him long enough on my property, that's another issue. I'm gonna have to figure out um how to keep him close to home and then be able to scoop him up, because if he goes underneath my deck, I can't retrieve him. Um Hopefully I can get him sedated and to a vet. That's the hopes. I don't have funds for it. I do have like a care credit card that I took out from Morgan I never used. Um, I might use that if I can get him. This is like one of the biggest problems is that raccoon and other animals being caught, that I got to be very careful. And with Little Thor as well, I don't know if he has anything that could go to Freya. That's why people are like, oh, let him in, let him in. And I have, but like now thinking about what happened to Odin and what happens if Little Thor does have something, or he contracted something through those bites, and that's not his first wound. That's his first serious, since I known him, wound. His eye is in really bad, 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 bad. And I'm gonna put a little discretion here. If you are, there's nothing crazy coming out. It's just really inflamed and gross. But if you are somebody that cannot look at that stuff, please look away now. This is Little Thor. And when he was feeding, I didn't notice like his eye was closed. I just noticed this. Um, you still look away. So this is really his eye is intact from what I could tell. It's just very inflamed up here. This is just mucus and crust from his eyelid. So it's really inflamed. He must have gotten cut or bit or scratched up here. Um, and all this is inflammation. His like I got to see a little bit of his eye. It is looking intact and fine. It's just the lid. Um, and that's just my observation for the couple of minutes that he was just chilling out right here, me trying to coax him in the house. I got a picture of it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And if there's anybody out there that knows cat trapping, and I've tried to trap him in the house. Like he does not want to be in the house. I also was trying to get him neutered. He's not neutered. I don't know how safe that is because he sprays his territory. Sure. Um, as much as I do know about cats, trapping feral strays. Some cats get loose and they've been homebound and they survive, but he's been feral and stray his whole life, supposedly. So he's only used to outside. I don't, he doesn't let me hold him. He only lets me pet him every once in a blue moon. Um, he knows that he can come for food and he knows that I have a thing for him, but that's about it. He doesn't like people touching him. And as soon as you try to like move, he is out. So I got to figure out if I can get a sedative and how much that's going to cost. I'm not really asking for anything from anybody right at this moment because I don't even know. I'm looking and investigating different rescues and seeing if somebody can help me because he needs attention and I, I don't need him to lose his eye, nor do I have the money for that surgery. And listen, Freya, okay, this is like a dream come true if this could happen. Okay. Because now things are getting real. Okay, things are getting real. And we're gonna get to the quantum stuff. But just this, my cats are everything to me. That's my family. I don't have, I have you guys, I have the people that watch me, but like in physicality, I just have my cats, right? And Freya is currently in first place, and she'll make the top five if this stays. So if she does, the competition's pretty fierce. And I would really, really hope that if Freya can win, and in one reality she does, and if that's the reality that I am observing, I would like to use that money to get little Thor on his feet, but there's no guarantees in this world. And, you know, I don't mince words. Like I'm okay if he has to be put down. I want him to have the best quality of life, even though he's an outdoor cat. I try to take care of every animal that I can, and I'm just like besides myself today. It's outside and he has to fend for himself. And unfortunately, he's a badass little cat. So I'm doing the best that I can to keep myself together and figuring out what's the best course of action for him at this moment. Obviously, I can't do much without a sedative, and I have to find a place to can give it to me or come here. But this weekend is going to be really back to being really, 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 really cold. So I doubt people are going to come out to do that kind of work. I'm hoping next week when it warms up a bit, if he survives. I'm hoping he can stay very close to here, that I can monitor him. I've been giving him stuff in his food to battle any infection and try to get the inflammation down. I have that stuff from Morgan and it's still good. And from Odin. So a lot of stuff I have is still good. So I'm praying, and I just really more than anything else, I'm just asking for everybody to pray for him and just send him some energy. Um, it's hard. I love my animals and I love him, and it's difficult. But if I can win this with Freya, I definitely if he's still holding on and he needs surgery or whatever, I can use that money to help him. So and anybody that can vote vote please. Get her to number one so that if little Thor does survive, I can help him out financially and not have to put him or find him in the middle. I mean, it might, but if I can get him back to best, that's my goal. So sorry about the emotional shit in the beginning. Not trying to like solicit anybody. that wasn't my point. It's just to tell you guys like where I'm at mentally today. It's, wow. Uh, I'm happy he's back, but not happy that I had to see that. And then I have the crazy raccoon on my deck. And that keeps me from trapping little Thor because I was thinking about it earlier and putting a trap out for him. It doesn't seem like it would be the best option, being that that raccoon is he might have something because he's been like not afraid of my axe. Like I take literally the axe that you see in Freya videos or Little Thor videos. Like I'm not hurting him. I'm just like ushering him to get the hell over there. He and I leave little bits of food for him. It's not like I'm inhumane, but I put it out in my yard. I don't know. Like there's a ton of animals right now, like survival of the fittest in my backyard. And I got deer and everything else coming in. I see tracks all over the place. It's crazy. But there's a lot of animals right now, and they're all fighting and bending for food. And I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know if I could catch him in a trap without catching that crazy raccoon. And I don't have any of those special equipment like gloves, the Kevlar stuff to put on so that if the thing wants to attack me, it's not going to penetrate me. I don't need anything wrong, guys. I'm also starting to get under the weather. I was at work taking a million supplements today. Um, the kids are getting me sick. It's just it's just what it is. Um, so yeah, sorry guys. It's rough when you have an investment and love into an animal as much as I do little Thor. And I can only ask for your prayers. And for now, if there's any advice you guys can give, if anybody knows a good method of not getting other animals trapped, let me know. Otherwise, I can't bring him in the house unless he is sedated and in a carrier. Um, just due to the fact that I already had Odin go for FIP, which obviously that's the name of the game, but there's so many things that little Thor could have being out in the environment and parasites and other things that I can't like play with that with Freya. I can't have any more cat deaths in my house like that. So dramatics. So as much as I want to bring him in and let him stay, I have to have him checked out and dealt with and healed, if that makes sense. So any advice would be, and because my brain's like, I don't know if I want to look at all these sites right now. I need to breathe it through. Now to the quantum fun. According to quantum field theory, fields are fundamental, while particles exist only as temporary excitations of those fields. This should be interesting. Quantum field theory, the foundation of modern particle physics, reveals a surprising truth. Particles are not the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Instead, fields are the true underlying entities, filling all of space. Particles arise as brief excitations or ripples in these fields, appearing only when energy is concentrated in a specific way. Each type of particle corresponds to a different quantum field. For example, electrons are excitations of the electron field, while photons are excitations of the electromagnetic field. These excitations behave like discrete particles when observed, but they are temporary manifestations of the continuous fields that permeate the cosmos. Understanding particles as field excitations explains many phenomena in physics, from the creation of particle-antiparticle pairs to interactions in high-energy collisions. It also provides a framework for unifying forces and predicting the existence of particles before they are detected, as seen with the Higgs boson. This perspective challenges the classical notion of matter as solid and discrete. By focusing on fields rather than particles, scientists can explore the deep structure of reality and understand how energy and interactions give rise to the particles that make up everything in the universe. So, what caught me more than anything else was this little scaly graph here. I'm not gonna lie. When I went into that trance meditation a few years ago, finding the Stargate and having to go back up to source and come down with some very heavy, meaningful guides to protect that gate. When I came back into from source all the way down back into material land, that picture, if you were to layer it, right, it's grid, it's graphing paper. Like if you took graph paper and then took just a grid, it overlays on every scale, on every dimension, up, down, and all around you, and it's overlaid very thinly. That's what I saw as dimensions, densities of expression. And what that technically is saying is that these fields, when we are observing it and are in it right now, me looking at the computer screen is creating a lot of things within between me and the computer and everything behind me. Once it's observed, it exists. I know, hard to figure out. There's a lot of structure to it, but in a Kybalion, you'll learn about the law of vibration. And the law is everything is vibrating, so everything has a wavelength and a frequency. As photons is light, and light is in the electromagnetic field. Why? When the sun has its little bursts of hell, we see the aurora borealis, or knowing that deep and down inside of us, we're a bioluminescence. You can't see it with your physical eyes, but you could see it if you had the vision to see it. The same thing with electrons. There's a million different fields that encompass the quantum field, and it's what makes up the grid work of our construct. And it's all about observing, but it's also feeling your observation. It's the measurement of your observation. It's your intention of the observation. When you look at the other laws that we have hold and beholden in classical physics, classical 3D, the law of attraction, when you put out into the field, your intention will have a cause and effect. But that's how we perceived it in 3D. It changes just a smidgen because you have to feel the state also. And not to say that you don't have to feel the state in 3D, but it gets more complicated in the scientific realm than it does spiritually. When you somatically go in and feel sovereign and feel the life already lived, but not from the state of the 3D lack, but from the sovereign state of the architect and creator of your reality, and empower yourself to have that nervous system that doesn't worry and doesn't care. It's going to be created because you made it that way. and you commanded the field to make it work for you, they'll start seeing results. The part that is eluding many of us is the inference and interference of the wave function. It's energy, and you have to learn how to manipulate it for your benefit. And the quantum field is a place where a lot of things can happen in chaos. And the inner states of yourself dictate the chaos that's in and around your locality. It's why we've been purging. It's why we've been getting rid of the old self and the old ways and the old thinking. And some of it's forced upon you, and other times you just naturally wake up and you feel different and you're reacting different and it all changes. I've had that happen to me once back in 2017. But more people that are not into this work and into the understanding, they're just living life. They've been noticing, if I pointed out to them, that their ways of thinking about things, their reactions to them have changed. So we are affecting the quantum field in essence, and that's why it's important that I'm doing this today, because I want to pour a lot of love into Little Thor. I mean, everything's going to happen and everything serves a purpose and has a reasoning for it happening and unfolding. We affect that field. And right now is a pivotal point in our world that each of us really gets right with our own selves and stops worrying about the menial shit. Because what you put in the field is what is, and it's not the law of attraction either. When you're attracting something, that shows the field you don't have it. So it's going to give you more or less the same shit. You're not attracting anything because you already have it. You already have it. So why are you attracting it? Do you see how the words and verbiages? It's a very big interpretation here, and you don't have to agree with me. You, of course, want to put positivity out into the field in order to get the positivity back. But if your subconscious is dictating your reality and creating it and observing it, what does your unconscious say about you? Your consciousness will say, I want, I command. Your subconscious will say, well, eh. So does that stuff actually come? It's for some, many, it's a soul contract thing, spiritually. Others, it's just refining and retuning your system in order to collapse the reality that you are already living in, but you desire. The field dictates a lot. And although it'll say quantum field theory, for me, it only is a theory because they don't know how it works. They know it exists. I've seen it personally and have witnessed its amazement. How does it work? It's where all the threads are that we've been building for a long time. If you are somebody that is a grid worker, going up and threading the strings of fate, and there is no one fate to be expressed. You choose which expression you want to go into next. And that is the law of change. You're changing constantly. On a cellular level, you're always constantly changing, you're aging, you're growing, you're shifting each day into something. You're always changing in some way, shape, or form or another. And it might be so minuscule that you don't even know. But the field is real for me. And I seen it through trance meditation in my other body. It's the fabric of space. It's always constantly evolving and changing, and it's on a subatomic particle that you can't see, and you are never going to be able to comprehend. Not even myself can comprehend the complexity of how these things work. The complexity is how all these fields interact with each other and create matter. Your phones, your everything that you have for experience purposes. But it's also conscious. If it wasn't conscious, your thoughts would never make reality. Your words wouldn't matter, literally and figuratively. Really think about that. That's major. If the quantum field wasn't conscious, didn't hold consciousness, none of the laws would work. It would not even make sense. It's working with you in your observation. Your subconscious links in to the quantum field, and your torus field, your electromagnetic field, your auric fields, and all the fields around you are always interacting with matter, with astral form, with all these layers. And in these layers is what determines your reality and how you're experiencing it based on your feelings. If you have a shitty day, I didn't have the worst day, I didn't have the best day. I looked at my bank account, not in fear and not in worry, just like being objective and going, oh, okay, I can pay this bill today, but I can't pay the electric bill until next week, and that will give me a late fee. But what am I going to do? I got to put food on my table. I have to be able to live and put gas in the car, and there's other bills that have to be paid on top of that. I can't just be left with $5 in my account. I can't. So I'm not in anxiety. I'm not freaking out. It is what it is. And the monopoly here is bananas. There's no reason for one person that's barely home during the day to have such an escalated bill. And even last year was worse. So mind you, I'm not throwing the old self out the window in terms of in a bad way. I'm letting go of the reactions that would have caused me. I mean, this is genetics, but I mean, I'm not stressing about shit I can't do anything about anymore, right? If it gets paid, great. If not, I'll deal with the consequences. Nothing I can do about it. It's not because I'm not sitting and doing nothing, right? And I want everybody to feel that for themselves, right? I'm a goody two shoes. I'm always on time with my bills, and I'm always striving to do better for self. Did my subconscious reflect that into my field? No. My old self reflected fear, anxiety, nervousness, and panic. And that's very much how I lived in survival mode my whole life, was reacting consciously to the fear, anxiety, and nervousness of my subconscious. Because I was taught that you got to pay your bills on time, and that you got to work hard for everything that you do. And in reality, I am working hard. I don't see many results, and not because I'm not worthy or valuable. It's just, it is what it is. It's a soul contract I got to learn from. And it's not excusing it. But I want you guys to understand too, like if you're struggling and having a hard time, they tell, like, some of these videos are telling you not to look at your bank account. You're going to get that unexpected bill. Well, no, my bills are expected. I'm waiting for my life to pivot and the opportunities to come in so that I don't have to worry about that paradigm anymore. And I'm not reacting like the old self. And that is an accomplishment on its own. Kudos. And kudos to all of you for not reacting in fear or, oh my God, chaos and in nervousness. Don't worry about it. I'm not anymore. And it's not because I'm ignoring my problem. It's because there's nothing I can do about it right now. Just like little Thor. Like this is more immediate and emergent than my my gas and electric bill. That will get paid eventually. But his health is more important. I could put it on a card. That's the only avenue I have right now. If it comes to that, and if I can get him in a carrier and get him to a vet. We're getting there, guys. But I just want you to sit back and reflect on this article. And it's not the easiest if you don't understand like the concept, but that your reality is dictated by your thoughts. And if the field is conscious, that means you got to play with the consciousness that's out there within yourself. And you got to shift and pivot your mindset. You got to pivot the way you're delivering your words and refining. And we're all in the middle of doing that. So give yourself compassion and grace, because I know a lot of you are starting to understand it and do the work and retune and recalibrate your inner system so that it actually starts working for you and not against you. And the not against you wasn't necessarily a bad thing. That not against you, that survival mode actually enabled you to be a strong ass see you next Tuesday or strong ass man, that you're standing on your feet and you're doing your duty, helping yourself. All those lessons and learnings that you learned from survival mode were absolutely necessary and were a part of your soul shaping. You don't need those lessons anymore. And that buffering zone that we're in, the null void, whatever you want to label it as, the quantum field, as much as it is entangled, that entanglement has to start densifying and forming and energetically tying new gateways and pathways and wormholes to the things that you desire. That in linear space is slow and it takes time. That's where a lot of us are sitting at. We're not expecting. We're not worrying. I know I'm not. But what we are doing is holding space and continuing the work. And that's what I'm continuing to do in this journey. I took a lot of supplements today, guys. You should be very proud of me. Very proud. Are you ready for this one? So for 4D members, this was a part of my slideshow, what I'm about to read to you, because I found it very interesting, but I'm going to do a whole episode just on this. I just need more different perspectives before I make slides. So what I'm doing in 4D is basically in the membership is I'm making workshop kind of like talks with slides and talking about the first topic is going to be the multiverse and the many worlds interpretation, because a lot of what the spiritual world is drawing in from is that exact thing. From the Schumann resonance, people are like, oh, there was a blackout, there's a time dilation, and then we're jumping timelines. But a spiritual person doesn't necessarily have the scientific understanding of what that actually means. And up until recently, quantum physics has been delivering more and more evidence that what a spiritual person is saying, shifting a timeline, actually is proving some of this stuff or theorizing it, but it's becoming more tangible and more spoken about. So there's more experiments and people out there delivering some interesting clues. But when the Schumann spikes or we have a blackout and we're like, oh, we're shifting time, we're shifting reality, we're shifting this. But what does that actually mean? And to a person that is a skeptic or somebody stuck in the materialistic 3D world, I want to bridge that gap of understanding and make it make sense on both sides. So this next slide is from Quantum Cookie. I like Quantum Cookie. Many physicists discuss the block universe theory, suggesting past, present, and future coexist simultaneously within a frozen 4 hour, that'd be great. Frozen 4-dimensional reality. Our experience of time flowing is merely an illusion formed as consciousness moves through this fixed block. Now, before I read the article, the Law of One will tell you, Bashar will tell you, and many other collectives will tell you that our conception of time is linear. It's linear. The linear space-time continuum, where we have past, present, and future in our descriptions. But is it actually real? Time is an illusion, claims Ra of the Law of One, and many other Bashar will tell you as well. Whether you believe in them or not, from channel perspectives, higher dimensional entities, you can believe it or not. But this is where the many worlds interpretation comes in because it's telling you that time is simultaneous. Because there's a version of you right now on a different timeline in a different dimensional space that is living something else. And your dreams are you going into these other realms doing something else. And some of those things are so similar, but there's little inferences there that you are like, oh, that could have only been a dream. I was in a spaceship or I was riding on a dinosaur or whatever. The weird funky things that happen in your dreams. It's just you playing another part of another paradigm your consciousness is entangled to. In my estimation, at least, this is where the spiritual and the scientific come together. But if you look at the picture, that's all happening now. And just from upstairs perspective, because they're just dropping me this, time travel, that concept, that beautiful, lovely concept that you could go back in time. Hang on, I'm gonna have to stop my screen for this. This is upstairs, fresh daily from the higher self. And then whatever collective is flowing through Allison's mouth at the moment. How is time travel possible if time wasn't simultaneously happening? Think about that concept. Back to the Future. Think about some of these things. Most of these movies and these plot twists and all this crap that you see on television and in the theater, it's just telling you truth fictionalized. How can you time travel? So you you see these movies and they're going back to the dinosaur age. Well, how can that exist if it already happened? You can't go back to something that has already happened unless it exists in another dimensional space, playing itself out in its own little world in a bubble pocket place over there. How can I tell you that your ancestors are you? You played all the parts, you played all the roles, and that they're playing out right now. That's hard for your human brain to even conceive, but think about time travel. How's that possible if it already has passed and it's dead, done, and over? But it's not. In reality, that black universe theory is something to really take into consideration. I don't necessarily see it in a block because time space is going to become more apparent as we get higher understanding and move, shift on up to four octave full four. We're only at sub octave four. So we're just learning about all this expansiveness, right? But this theory is going to expand into bigger. Look at time travel as a possibility. People portaling out into different dimensional spaces. That means other things are overlaid and overlaid and overlaid in different dimensional. You just can't perceive it with your two eyes or feel it because you're not at the frequency that it's sitting at. So if the dinosaur paradigm, because you thought those realities were true and you projected because the history book told you that dinosaurs existed, regardless, in some reality it does. So in that one reality, dinosaurs are happening right now. And it is possible for you to time travel back to the dinosaurs. And it is also possible to go to the future and to any one of your future selves, in theory, concurrently living self, and draw that version of you here. But you could time travel. It is possible. You do it all the time. You're just not aware of it. Upstairs done. Let's read. Some physicists argue reality is a frozen 4D block where past, present, and future already exist together, and our sense of motion comes from awareness alone, shaping experience, meaning memory and perception within this vast, unchanging structure that surrounds every event, thought, choice, fear, hope, joy, sorrow, forever, simultaneously, without alteration or escape from its total completeness and depth overall. This view suggests nothing truly changes at a deep level, and every event remains fixed like pages inside a finished book, sliding across different moments already written, given life, continuity, emotion, tension, and personal narrative without altering the underlying arrangement that holds all outcomes equally: present, stable, silent, complete, whole during permanent interact. In this picture, the universe is already complete, with births, choices, and endings coexisting together. Yes, the brain experiences reality one slice at a moment, creating urgency, attachment, love, fear, and purpose, even though the structure itself never shifts, bends, reacts, or responds to awareness moving across it, while events remain fixed, settled, defined, constant, enduring, unmoved, unchanged, eternal, whole overall. Now, I'm going to pause here. This is where we know AI wrote this, but this is where I disagree. In the black theory, yes, it is. That's exactly what it's describing. But here's a caveat. Yes, you wrote everything. Oh, the whole smackdown, the whole smacking it down. What it is not saying is that it is moving across events. Because at any one moment, you can change your perspective, your nervous system, your identity, your awareness to observe another self living in a different block and grabbing that different self, merging it with the block that you're branching in, and have it collapse, aka manifest. That's the point of, yeah, there's certain things in your life that you chose as catalysts that are fixed. But if you choose a different reality to experience, that catalyst doesn't belong in that one paradigm. So in one way, you wrote in a car accident or a major collapse of your financial security. But if you change and merge to your understanding of the time, and you chose to experience a life that had more sovereignty and financialness and a partner and uh freedom, those are states of being and frequency. And if you shift your frequency and vibration, the catalyst that was set for that one timeline doesn't exist anymore because you outgrew that timeline. You're now vibrating and frequenting at a different level, which will still come with a catalyst, but it might not be that accident. It might not be that collapse. It might be something else. The universe is always going to test you. Don't get me wrong. It will. But I don't believe that things are fixed and things are fluid and flowing. It's just a matter of how we perceive it and observe it. This idea can feel unsettling, yet strangely comforting because certainty replaces chaos. If everything already exists, then loss and hope share the same landscape, and meaning comes not from change, but from how consciousness experiences each segment, forming value, courage, compassion, responsibility, and care within experience despite fixed structure, permanence, stillness, immobility, certainty, totality, scale, depth, vastness, scope, reality itself. AI, you got to do better grammatically. Details continue and no single framework answers everything. Yet this frozen reality idea reshapes questions about free will identity and existence. It invites reflection, humility, and curiosity rather than fear. Follow mind's canvas for ideas that stretch thinking, spark discussion, and translate deep science into human understanding with clarity, warmth, honesty, balance, patience, insight, care, curiosity, depth, resonance, meaning, and connection. I don't think anything and this is the block theory thing I have a problem with. I don't think it's frozen. Because if you could choose a different paradigm, you're choosing it and you're going to collapse it at some point and you're going to experience it. It might still be in that block, but I don't think that's frozen. And the billions of timelines that you wrote that overlay each other, some are super, super, super similar, but little things that change within the different things that you shift to. Um, but I don't think it's frozen. I don't, because we're shifting dimensions and densities. So maybe it is within the cube, but I don't see the frozenness. I don't see it. And yes, I feel like there are a lot of things are already predetermined. We predetermined and wrote the story. For me, this is how I perceive it. What you choose in the free willness is what you experience. You have a menu of things that you wrote out, and when you frequent your energy and vibrate and tune into a better reality and do the work in order for you to maintain that frequency, you are jumping into something different. And that difference has a whole exploratory timeline. You don't remember that you wrote it. You're just experiencing different things. So if you had a major move in your life, you're switching jobs, you have a child, you have these like these pillars that you meet. And that pillar looks different for everybody because not everybody has children, not everybody gets married, but there are certain pinnacles in your life of things that occur that kind of shift you and navigate you in another direction. And that was all meant to be there. You chose these things. And some people stay on the same reality their whole lives, and many people like freaking quantum leap all the time. And I think a lot of us who are spiritually in the awareness of higher expansion of consciousness, we're constantly shifting. So nothing has necessarily, like, this is another one of my problems. I'm constantly shifting timelines. And not to say that my outer world changes, it's just the way that I'm thinking and certain things that come draw in and other signs that I get from the universe and I might be on the right direction, or I sent myself a SOS signal from higher self and higher self gives me it back. We're not landed anywhere yet because we haven't stabilized the frequency to keep it. We keep jumping, which is not a bad thing, but it isn't a good thing for the third dimension because we get stuck in stagnancy, and it necessarily isn't stagnancy, but it's also a place that we're not in the reality long enough for it to actually collapse the results that we want. This is where I'm starting to get unstuck in the concept because I desire to have a life of observation, commanding my field to stop effing around and finding out later. I want certain things to happen in my life, and I'm out there trying to make the best achievement possible and putting my energy out there in a positive sense, not freaking out over things I can't control and not allowing the echo of the past to suck me back in. And yet at the same time, if I keep shifting, I am not allowing, and that isn't necessarily a thing that any of us have fault with. It's that our energy is so high, humanity's shifting, so our timeline shifts. Individually, you also individually shift with the collective. So if the collective keeps shifting, your manifestation, what you're trying to collapse in density to have a materialization, to have an energetic communication with somebody. So if you're divinely, one reality, you are getting that partner and getting that business going and getting that job, but you keep rising in frequency, that just keeps getting put off until you shift to another paradigm where that stuff doesn't even exist. Does that make sense? Because you keep shifting. And if you shift big enough, you're not going to collapse the old stuff. You're going to collapse something new, but you don't know what that new is because you never landed in a reality yet. That's going to give you the results. So I'm still playing around with that, but it makes sense for me why I've been doing this work for a few months now, like beyond the summer doing the subconscious work and then finding the tuning into my frequency and doing the work every day. Like I noticed my reaction to like, can I pay this today? I could pay one bill today, but that doesn't leave me until next payday. I guess I'm not paying that until I get money. Obviously, um, I'm not going to leave myself in destitute. No one should. But where's the reality where the opportunities come in and where I'm winning big and where, and it's not a question of doubt and it's not a question of anxiety or stress. I'm not there. Old self would have like freaked out already and did some stupid shit. This me is like, okay, whatever. I can only do what I'm able to do in the moment. And it's not like I'm not working. I work hard. And, but I'm doing what I love. That did not cohere just yet. We'll see. But it's an interesting dynamic, this block theory. And I want to investigate it more. And I had the beginnings of it. And I'm like, wait a second, this is too much braining because I'm making and cutting this stuff into episodes. So I'm gonna just fine tune the one focus, the multiverse and the many worlds interpretation. with quantum spirituality and quantum cognizance. Claire's enmeshed in all of that. Almost there, home stretch for that episode. But I have a lot of information. I just don't want to barf it out on people. That makes sense. This next article, quantum physics just got more real. The PBR theorem argues the wave function is physically real. Ooh! No more hiding from quantum weirdness. The PBR theorem delivers an uncomfortable truth. Quantum weirdness is real, not just apparent. For years, some physicists hoped the wave function was merely epistemic, however you pronounce that, a representation of our knowledge rather than physical reality itself. The PBR theorem proved them wrong with the rigorous mathematical logic. If quantum mechanics accurately describes nature, then the wave function must be ontic, a real physical entity, not a statistical convenience. This means quantum superposition, entanglement, and uncertainty aren't artifacts of incomplete theories or measurement limitations. They're fundamental features of reality itself. Correct. Particles genuinely exist in multiple states simultaneously until measured. The quantum world isn't hiding classical reality beneath probabilistic fog. It is probabilistic at its core. PBR forced physics to accept that the universe is fundamentally stranger than our classical intuitions can grasp. There is no escaping into simpler interpretations. All that really is saying is that you create reality. We co-created together. We created this phone. Charlene created Baden. Someone made the candle. But we created it all. All of us are God, observing and experiencing this reality. So every facet of it is created by us. And when we observe the state of the particle collapses into the wave function of what it is that you intend that particle to do. And you are not cognizant of what that is because your subconscious rules that world. The field, the quantum field dictates that as well. So the book is the book. The paper is the paper. The ink is the ink. All come together now. You created it. Your brain puts it together into your mind so that you can comprehend what you're seeing. But you have to observe it. That's why the theoretical conundrum that if you are in the woods and a tree falls, do you hear it? Is it observable? Schrodinger's cat, is the cat dead or alive? You don't know until you actually open up the box. It's a thought experiment, but it's one that opens your expanded consciousness to seeing a bigger totality that we really don't know how reality actually works. And even the theories and even me postulating half of this, there's a lot being proven now and not necessarily accepted just yet. There's a lot of facets, and each one of us brings a different facet to the big diamond gem of this world and reality realm, whatever you want to label it as. If everything is vibrating and everything has frequency, those are made up of particles. You are made up of particles. And at any moment, if you observe something and you don't like it, you could change the state of that particle. You can observe it to be different. You have to believe in it, and it takes time because we're humans, we're conditioned, we're programmed. But it's all for experience purposes anyway, because the greater consciousness that dictates how we act and function in this world determines a lot. So quantum physics and spirituality is a very interesting overlay. And I really, really, really wish that physicists would really, besides like the few that are now really like bridging both worlds together, but they're once again, not every spiritual person perceives reality the same. No one does necessarily. There's similarities, and it's always these like high profile people that not to say they're evil or bad or whatever. I'm out of that paradigm. I see everything as source, but you got to go off of a multitude and not just one or two opinions of how reality is, and to formulate more of a synchronistic understanding. It doesn't necessarily need to be right or wrong. It's very structured, and the world is not meant to be viewed in the lens of structure, although it is, and that's how our brains put it together. Right now, in front of your eyes, billions and quadrillions of things are happening between you and the screen you're looking at. There's ones and zeros whizzing by. There's x-rays. There's waves of different frequencies and functions going to machines, going through the ether. The radio waves are everywhere. The microwaves, the radiant waves, the electromagnetic field, billions of particles of air that hold different helium and nitrogen and neon, and all these things are whizzing by you right now. Do you even comprehend what's going on between your eye and the screen? Billions of things are happening between you and the screen. Billions, quadrillions, quintillions of things going on in between your eyeball and the screen. Your brain can only process so much information. Your eyes can only receive so much information. But yet there's billions of billions of things happening in subatomic form in front of you. That's not a lie. How do you get Wi-Fi? How does your phone get the signal? These are things going through the waves of vibration. You're just not perceiving it. How do you actually experience color? There's so much going on right here. And yet you're seeing the screen and seeing me clearly. But how? These are the conundrums that plague a lot of people. And some people don't even want to care. I mean, what's going on in your body right now? There are a trillion different things happening within your system in this now moment. Your brain is functioning, your heart is beating, your lungs are, and you're not even thinking about it. Every cell is going through some kind of mitosis, some kind of cellular death and transformation, and just going and doing its function without you even asking your brain to do that function for it. Your organs are working. Every organ in your body right now is functioning and filtering and doing its thing without your awareness to it. Unless you have to go to the bathroom, your kidneys and your bladder are like, hi, you gotta go, relief, right? Or you gotta go poo. Or, whatever it is, you got to sneeze, you feel a little tickle, right? Those are things that, like, then you become consciously aware, oh, I got to blow my nose or I have a cough. But are you really thinking about all the germs and bacteria and all the other functions of those things going on in your system? No, you don't. You got earwax building up in your ears and snot goblins happening and all the bacteria in your mouth colliding and eating and your hair growing. That's a lot to think about. So think about how many particles and things are going on between you and the screen. Think it's mind blowing. I got some really good news. Freya made top 5. So thank you everybody for being consistent and helping Freya get America's favorite cat. But here is now the push. If you guys can do consistently every day as much as you can and pass it along on your socials. Seriously, I would really appreciate it because, I was going to use that money to help my property tax and I probably still will a little bit of it. But Little Thor is my forefront right now. And, um, finding a rescue or finding something to get him help does cost money. And I'd rather use that winning if I do win and get that, if that's the reality I'm drawing in. Um, Obviously I'm gonna do what I can now because obviously I don't know when this top number one thing happens. Um, but if she does win, that money is going straight to getting little Thor help if he survives. So nothing is a guarantee in this life. The same thing with Odin. I was pleading and prodding and getting everything, and he ended up passing away. But if little Thor is going to survive, I want him back to best, and I want him in the house. And in order for me to do that, I have to get him a lot of work. So that's going to be some money, and the winnings would definitely cover that. And um, let's get her to number one. For the next article. Sorry, I had to put that in there. I'm really excited and like devastated at the same time. But it just it pushes the importance of winning, not just to have a claim and have a trophy and a little plaque with her picture on it or a magazine cover. It's not about that. Um, if I could help him now that he's hurt and he needs help, I'm gonna do everything in the in between anyway to get that help. But that would just be alleviating a lot and it could just streamline it. So Team Freya, let's go. The next article I have is everything in physical world is built from atoms. Atoms arise from energy, and energy is viewed as emerging from consciousness. What? Let me take a puff before we go on. Science keeps circling a bold idea. Matter, energy, and mind may be linked, and quantum thinking is pushing that question into the spotlight today. Atoms build everywhere. Builds everywhere. That makes sense, Allison. Atoms build everything we touch, yet they behave like waves of possibility. This strange behavior invites deeper questions about what truly sits beneath reality. Many feel curiosity rising again as old ideas gently shift forward now. Atoms once felt solid and final, but physics reveal mostly empty space buzzing with energy that provide measurable yet oddly intangible, sorry. My brain is not braining at the moment. Experiments show observation matters at tiny scales. Some researchers wonder if awareness plays a role, not mystical, but informational, shaping outcomes through interaction and limits of measurement. This idea keeps debate lively across labs and late nights worldwide. Quantum discussions often spark emotion because they touch meaning, not just math. When systems grow large, we expect simplicity, yet certain states refuse that comfort. They stay coherent, strange, and precise. That persistence hints reality may not flatten with size. Complexity might be fundamental, not temporary, surprising thinkers across fields and reopening deeper questions again about mind matter links today. For everybody, for everyday life, this does not change breakfast or traffic, but it shifts perspective. It invites humility. Science grows by testing limits, not declaring final truths. If consciousness relates to energy, then responsibility feels shared. Observation, participation, and care gain weight. Curiosity becomes an ethic guiding how we explore and build futures together with patience and wonder for all minds. This is where we're all trying to strive for. These ideas remain debated and should be held lightly. Science thrives on questions backed by evidence and openness. Quantum research keeps evolving tools and language. Whether consciousness proves central or not, the journey expands understanding. Share thoughts, listen well, and stay curious. The universe rewards careful wonder more than certainty, especially when minds meet kindly across cultures and generations ahead. Yes. Yes. And my little equation for consciousness is energy. Photons equals energy equals consciousness. Faster than the speed of light. So, mind you, that now collectively together, if we would have this shaping and thinking curiosity, what else is going to become a unified field of force? All of us uniting and making things better and collapsing what no longer serves us, systems that don't serve us, and structuring life differently, but for all and not just for the few. Wouldn't that make sense? Yes, it does, Allison, but you know, life is life and weird. The last article for today, they finally clocked quantum speed and it reveals reality moves faster than we understand. Ah, of course it does. I like the image that we are seeing. Reality just broke another limit when researchers finally measured how fast quantum effects spread through matter, shaking long-held assumptions. This was not a guess or a simulation. It was a direct measurement that hints our universe reacts far quicker than everyday intuition allows, opening a new chapter in how motion, cause, and response truly behave. To do this, scientists designed an ultra-precise experiment that tracked tiny changes at extreme scales without disturbing the system itself. By watching how influence moves, they uncovered speeds that challenge familiar limits. The finding does not break physics, it refines it, showing nature operates with layers of rules most people never see before, now known only through theory and debate. Why it matters goes beyond labs. Faster internal responses could reshape future materials, computing systems, and sensing tools. When limits shift, innovation follows. Engineers gain clearer boundaries, educators gain better explanations, and society gains a deeper respect for how much remains hidden beneath simple observations we rely on daily that quietly guide modern technology and everyday understanding worldwide today. Now, it also challenges human perception. We experience the world as slow and ordered, yet beneath the calm surface, events ripple with astonishing urgency. This gap between experience and reality fuels curiosity. Each measurement tightens the link between what we feel and what truly happens at nature's deepest levels, bringing science closer to everyday trust and understanding for everyone everywhere today. This moment will be remembered not for speed alone, but for clarity. Measuring the unmeasurable reshapes confidence and discovery. As tools sharpen, questions grow braver. The universe keeps revealing its pace on its own terms, reminding us that comprehension always lags behind reality, and curiosity is the force that keeps us catching up long after breakthrough rewrite what we think possible of future generations everywhere. I think a human thought is faster than the speed of what we call light. We're entangled to things, so information is instantaneous. It's hard to comprehend these things because it's automatic. It happens without your awareness. But now that you're placing your awareness on it and thinking, okay, how is my body functioning all these functions? And I'm thinking clearly, and how did my thoughts enter my head? And I'm getting it through the fields and all this intricacy. But this is the time for clarity as the astrology is moving and as the spiritual people are saying, we're getting our downloads. The Schumann resonance is buzzing with excitement and we are getting upgraded. Okay, what does all of that mean? All of that is to say, we are integrating more information at a higher voltage and we're holding more energy within our bodies. We're expanding. The Schumann is kind of quiet. Not that it is quiet, it's not. But from the comparable other day, today is a bit calmer. But our electromagnetic field, on the other hand, is batshit crazy. It looks like waves or dinosaurs doing dinosaur dance, dinosaur shuffle. Never seen that before. And I'm going to screenshot. That's a history maker right there. Ah, the E field. The electric field. So things are changing. We're shifting. There's some diagnostic tools there. The Schumann resonance, that scientific equipment that is picking up on the changes going on this realm, planet, whatever you want to label it. You're shifting as well. You're changing no matter if you believe in it or not. Every moment your cells are shedding and you're becoming a new person. Each day, the tapestry and the weaving of your life is shifted between your thoughts. So if you're more optimistic and you are thinking positive and yeah, human shit happens and you're going to react and your wave function shifts constantly. Your vibration shifts frequency constantly. It's up to you to hold the state as best as you can. And it's okay if you falter, you're human. There's a lot of dynamics happening right now in the world. I just challenge the physicists that are doing these experiments to keep humanity in mind and keep the scale of will this shift a paradigm? Will this shift reality? And is this supposed to happen without humanity's consent? A lot of physicists are in their work and not really thinking about everybody else when they're doing it. I'm not saying all, but when money and grants and excitement happens, the focus of humanity is lost. So I'm hoping that a lot of people doing a lot of these experiments are really cautioning themselves. Are they opening up wormholes? Are they opening up black holes? Are they opening up portals? And we know this technology does exist. It could be ancient, but doesn't matter. The ancient world that is coexisting with us right now is in a different reality. Time travel. You're doing it right now as we speak. It's just a level of perception and a level of understanding and comprehending the concepts. But I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'm hoping I can keep this state of not feeling the best. I'm snotty. This is a little raw. I'm drinking water. I'm taking my minerals. I'm taking my supplements. I'm taking care of myself. Don't think I'm not. I am. Rest is for the weary, and I need more of it, believe it or not. I'm hoping I can catch up on more sleep this weekend and do some cleaning and get little Thor. That's my main focus for this weekend. And it's going to be really cold, so I'm really hoping he sticks close and then I can grab him safely and without harming him any further. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hype to my channel. I really do appreciate it. If you can go vote for Freya, the stakes are higher now because it would benefit him that I can get him to the vet and not have to worry about putting myself in further debt that I'll never be able to pay. Winning would mean so much, especially if I could keep him alive. Everybody has a lifespan. I don't think his done yet. And I would like to keep him inside if I can, but I can only do that if he's checked out and healed. Because I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he has rabies now. I don't know if he has, something that's detrimental to Freya. But we're going to keep our hands in prayer and our energy to having him keep alive as long as necessary for me to get him help. I can only go day by day. So I really, really, really thank all of you for your support, your love, your likes, your subscribes, your hypes, all of my channel members. I love you so much. I'm very humbled and I have so much gratitude to everybody that watches me. It's moments like these that you get very humbled very quickly. And I know when I endured Odin's passing last year, that was rough. And if it wasn't for this work and the community that I have, I would have been a mess. The same thing with little Thor right now. It's a mess, but we're going to get through it together. And I'm praying that I can capture him and get him the help he needs. But I can't force it, and I am not going to put myself in danger with that raccoon. That raccoon is bananas and very aggressive. Not in a way that he showed his teeth to me, he didn't like, but he's very like I want food and I'm gonna come and get you for it. So I don't need to get bit. I don't need to get rabies. I don't need any of that in my house. I already had enough in the last 6 months. So we'll figure it out. But if you guys have any suggestions on ways to getting him, I've tried trapping him in many different ways, especially when he used to come in the house when Morgan was alive. Like without hurting him. Going behind the neck, grabbing the towel, the blanket, the this, the that, setting food in a trap. Like he's stupid smart. His cat knows. So it's probably not his first rodeo. He probably doesn't want his nuts chopped off. Poor guy. But he needs to, and he needs to stay here. As long as he is given the life to live. So I'll keep you guys updated. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulders. Be the lighthouse. Seed and sprinkle your truths. Light that path forward. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Not the subscribe. The bell. Ding-ling-ling-ling. I might have to walk to work tomorrow because it might be snowing. We're getting snow overnight, and we might get snow in the morning, and it might be too dangerous for me to drive the car because my car is slippery and does not maneuver well on ice, and we're dropping in temperature. So I might just walk to be safe. If that does occur, I'd be going on a little bit later. All depending upon also like seeing where little Thor is and how, whatever. So just so that you know when I'm live. If I go live, I will put it into the community post, the tab, the posts where the community can see my information. I'll put it out there. If I capture him and get him to the vet tomorrow, that's the goal. If I can't, I'm not stressing him out, and I'm not stressing myself out. All happens in divine orchestration. But just make sure you have the little icon ringed so you know when I go live. And until the next time, guys, please pray for little Thor. Be safe, be seen, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.